Hello again, and this is actually the final reading from my first novel from the Glory of Love saga, entitled The Glory of Love. Before we get into the readings from my second novel, Lovers in a Dangerous Time. And like I said, these readings actually went along with the presentation that I never got to give. Anyway, this reading is from chapter 17, and it actually describes another event called for the Just Read Foundation that entitled "The Summer in Winter Bash," and this actually doesn't have a very happy ending. So, if you want a better description, check out the description in the video below. Okay, thank you. Meanwhile, in the deserted restaurant, Rancourt, Iron Maid, and Firewall sneak in through the back doors, Iron Maid tearing them apart from their hinges. They look around the restaurant for any suspicious staff members looking to report them. Two waiters spot them and head to the manager of the restaurant. "Stay here," Rancourt says to Firewall. Then he and Iron Maid retrieve some steel rods from a large bag they're carrying. They follow the waiters into the manager's office and hit them over their heads 3 times each, knocking them out. Once they're taken care of, they proceed downstairs to the nightclub, where they see 2 unarmed bodyguards. On Rancourt's orders, they use the same weapon, same number of times, and are knocked out as well, falling on the floor with a thud. Rancourt makes a facepalm move, shaking his head. "You idiots," he whispers. "I told you not too hard. You want everyone to hear and get suspicious?" Iron Maid takes the bodyguards away to dispose in the restaurant bathrooms. Rancourt opens the doors and looks inside the club. Everyone seems to be fixed on Caroline Massey as she wraps up her speech. "And with the support and dedication of volunteers and families like you," she concludes, "we can see the day where we can look into the eyes of a child living with cystic fibrosis and say, 'You will be cured because we won.'" This is followed by loud applause. Firewall takes out a dozen candle bombs from the bag of weapons. They are Rancourt's latest invention. He spent the past 2 months making several batches. He lights them and covers the tops. "I'm getting ready here," he says. He rolls them onto the floor of the club, and they stop under the tables. In the dimly lit atmosphere, the people barely notice. Some of them, however, pick them up and look at them for a few seconds, then put them back on the floor when they can't figure out what they are. Rancourt, Iron Maid, and Firewall snicker as they leave the club. As Rancourt and Firewall light the rest of the candle bombs, Iron Maid goes around checking the manager's office and the bathrooms. "They're all still out cold," he whispers. "I think it will be hours before they wake up." "Great, because when the flame gets down to the end of the wick, boom," Rancourt replies. He checks his watch. "This should give us another half an hour. Iron Maid, go find some boards for the back doors you tore down. Once we're out, we need to put the boards up quickly so nobody escapes. We have to leave this scene before they start to go off." Once the rest of the bombs are lit, covered and scattered, Rancourt goes into the janitorial supply room for a hammer and nails. Just in time, Iron Maid comes back with some wooden boards, 20 by 16. Rancourt is impressed by the sizes. "Perfect!" The Kensington brothers leave out the back, Iron Maid lifting up and boarding the doors. Meanwhile, in the club, Nightvisor, Jennifer, Amanda, Liz, Anthony, Derek, and Celine are all dancing in a group, a Latin song, followed by a popular club tune. The waiting staff has picked up all the bombs and, thinking they're actual candles, put them all on tables. The candles are rather warm, but they don't make the tables hot. After dancing, Jennifer goes back to her table to look at the candle, the wick almost burnt to the end. She picks up the candle, mesmerized by its spear shape and bumpy texture. "This is so cool," she says to Nightvisor. "Darling, we must simply look into one of these for our future home." Suddenly, the bomb explodes in her hands, blowing them off at the wrist, and creating flames to set her clothes on fire. Everyone who notices the blast screams in panic, and the horrified Nightvisor runs to get a fire extinguisher. As he leaves, he hears more explosions on random tables and quickly realizes what they are. "Bombs!" he yells. "Everybody clear out of here!" The explosion set all the tables on fire, the tablecloths quickly engulfing in flames. It isn't long before the entire nightclub is set on fire, burning the streamers and the murals. Nightvisor is carrying the unconscious and burning Jennifer, while Leander and Highclere take Master Abraham and Mr. and Mrs. Paxton as everyone heads for the emergency exits. But the doors will not open. They have been sealed shut. As they make their way to the restaurant, they find the back doors are boarded up. Nightvisor tries to push them open, but he can't. They head to the restaurant to see more of the same bombs on the floor. Oh no, Nightvisor says lowly. Highclere quickly notices an air conditioning vent on the same wall as the back doors. He runs to it and climbs up. "You guys," he calls, "we can escape through here." He uses his strength to tear the vent away, the bolts dripping from the walls. Suddenly, the bombs in the restaurant explode, causing Highclere to fall with a vent in hand, and survivors of the nightclub fire to be thrown into more panic as the restaurant also catches fire. Highclere gets back up and calls for everyone to come to the hole in the wall. He is able to give Leander, Nightvisor, and Master Abraham all boosts. He is also able to throw people up high enough to grab the bottom of the hole and climb through. He manages to get the Maitland and Paxton families all out. It takes time for some to climb through before he starts to wonder if he can save everyone. Then he has an idea. "Somebody grab my shoulders, and then everyone grab the shoulders of the person behind you. We'll form a chain and then climb up." Miss Massey grabs onto Highclere's shoulders and calls, "Everyone form a chain and don't let go." When Highclere is sure everyone is ready, he starts to climb up the wall through the heat vent. The vent is only large enough for people to crawl through one behind the other. It takes about 2 minutes of crawling before he finds the exterior of the building. He crawls out and falls, landing on his feet. Firefighters and paramedics are already there to take part in the rescue. Leander, Highclere, and Nightvisor volunteer themselves and help hold the trampoline for survivors to land on. Miss Massey and other people in the chain crawl out as Nightvisor and bounce to their safety. But only 40 people make it out that way. Highclere notices that the boarded door has been gutted down, likely with an axe. Firefighters and paramedics are getting more people out. The last one to escape from the vent goes up to him, accompanied by a firefighter, and says, "I had a woman behind me who was too large to fit through the vent and got stuck. The man behind her, his hands got so sweaty he lost his grip and sent the rest falling down. This firefighter here told me he sent one of his men to axe the doors down to get the rest of the attendants." He is about to respond when he hears Nightvisor screaming Jennifer's name, then crying. He turns to see him sobbing in Master Abraham's arms. Amanda Maitland is also crying along with her parents. He runs up to Nightvisor and asks him, "Nightvisor, buddy, what happened?" Nightvisor is too upset to speak, so Master Abraham speaks for him. "Jennifer is gone," he says. "She was killed instantly when the bomb went off." Shortly afterwards, another survivor, a young woman, approaches Nightvisor. "Excuse me, but are you the one they call Nightvisor?" He nods sadly, but doesn't say anything. "I'm a good friend of Colleen Frankel's," she says. "I chatted with her as she passed by me at dinner." Nightvisor pauses, then, "How is she?" The young woman is fighting to keep from getting emotional, but manages to say, "She's gone. She was trapped in the restaurant as it was burning. She suffered severe burns and never made it out." Nightvisor feels sick now. Sad and angry. Sick, sad, angry, all different emotions at once. Leander is even angrier and looks up at the damage. The walls are still standing, but the roof is likely damaged. Nobody in the back lane can tell. All right. What I want to know is who did this? And that is the last of the readings of The Glory of Love before we start into the readings of Lovers in a Dangerous Time that I chose for my presentation. And just before we go, some things that I didn't say in my introduction video was that another thing that I admire about Boomer Esiason is his relationship with his son Gunnar and what he has done for him and everyone else who who has been living with cystic fibrosis not in the United States but likely around the world. And again, if I could meet him, if I could work with him, if I could dedicate my writing talent to help put an end to cystic fibrosis and raise the proper funding for it, it will make not only my life but also my career. And hopefully when other charities notice, they will also ask me for my services if I can maybe write a novel as a fundraising project for them. So, see you in the readings for lovers in a dangerous time. Thank you.